I want to thank my patron supporters for making videos like this possible. Patron supporters receive exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel. If you'd like to be a patron supporter, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. Hey everybody, this is TJR. I haven't talked about animation on this channel in a while, although I have in the past. And today I've decided to throw caution to the wind and talk about it again. And I want to talk about a cartoon short that I saw as a small child that scared the living crap out of me.
Hey boy, come here. We gotta operate. Yeah. We gotta operate. Sure. We gotta operate.
Recently, while sharing breakfast with two of my siblings, I recounted a very early childhood experience of having to go to the hospital and having to get my appendicitis taken out, and how that cartoon affected my image of what having an operation meant. Like a lot of kids from my era, I grew up coming home to school and watching every afternoon old theatrical cartoon shorts that had been repurposed for TV broadcast. And anything I'd seen on TV up to that point in my life basically told me that if you had to have an operation, it was something deadly serious. I woke up one morning, my stomach was hurting really bad. And my parents began to think that there's more to this than just an upset stomach, because I was in a tremendous amount of pain. So they took me to the emergency room, where they quickly diagnosed that I had an appendix. That I had an appendicitis. And not that I had an appendix, everybody has one, at least they do at birth, but that I had one that was going to burst and it needed to come out. So I was mortified.
How's that new nurse in Ward C, Doctor?
Not bad. I got a date with her after the operation.
And of course, probably more so than anything else that stood out in my mind was a 1950s Warner Brothers cartoon short, theatrical cartoon short, entitled The Hypochondriac Cat. This cartoon was directed by Chuck Jones and written by Michael Maltese. And it features the characters, reoccurring characters, Hubie and Bertie Mouse, and also Claude Cat, who starred in a couple of Warner Brothers shorts back then. Hubie and Bertie being voiced by Mel Blanc and Stan Freberg. It wouldn't be until much, much later that I'd finally have my innocence removed and find out that no, Mel Blanc didn't actually voice all those Looney Tunes characters. He was just the only one that got credited. But that's another story for another day. So the cartoon features our two main characters, Hubie and Bertie, just trying to take shelter from the rain. And they find a house that they can take shelter in and have some cheese when they're confronted by Claude Cat. This is was a very typical cat versus mouse trope that was so common in so many cartoons of this time period. However, though, Hubie and Bertie discover that this cat is a hypochondriac and he worries about everything. And they convince him that he's very sick and that he needs to have an operation.
Yeah, look at him. He is turning green.
Look at him now. He's turning purple.
Hey, Hubie, let me pick the next color. Hubie.
Okay.
Let's see now. He's turning, he's turning plaid.
Don't overdo it.
Which, of course, Hubie and Bertie are going to perform. Claude Cat had hearing the sound of a knife, what he thinks is a knife, cutting into him, but it's actually cutting into a slice of cheese, scares himself into unconsciousness. And then there is this amazing nightmare sequence. And this is the sequence that just scared me as a little kid and would fuel my most terrifying darkest thoughts as I prepared for this operation. Looking back at this nightmare sequence now, while fluidly animated, is incredibly sparse in, say, comparison to a nightmare sequence like Pink Elephants on Parade from Walt Disney's Dumbo. And yet, I feel this sequence manages to be more effective in being scary than, say, the sequence from Dumbo. I describe this sequence as very Hitchcock-like. I'm reminded of the dream sequence that was designed by Salvador Dali in the Hitchcock film Spellbound.
Suddenly I was running. Then I heard something beating over my head. It was a great pair of wings. The wings chased me and almost caught up with me when I came to the bottom of the hill.
I have very vivid memories of being in the hospital and being in a wheelchair and being terrified that I was going to have this operation, and memories of looking at my parents for some sort of concern for my well-being, and yet they were smiling and happy. Of course they were smiling and happy. They were very grateful that the doctors had diagnosed that I had an appendicitis and that this was going to be taken care of. I was going to be okay. But my little 8-year-old self didn't understand this. I can remember the nurse taking me away in my wheelchair to my hospital room while the doctors got ready, and looking back over my shoulder and seeing my parents waving goodbye, smiling from ear to ear. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna die and they don't even care. I mean, hey, one less mouth to feed is one less mouth to feed, right?
Riot! Riot!
In fact, I was so agitated that at one point the doctors gave me a shot to calm me down. This was my first high, basically. And I still distinctly remember this. I went from being not unlike Claude Cat in the cartoon to just lying there in the bed, just kind of like, oh yeah, we'll just wait for the operation. It'll be fine. Oh, there goes a car. Hey, Mom and Dad, a car just went by the window. You hear it? There it goes. There goes another one. After the alleged operation, Herbie and Bertie managed to con Claude Cat one more time into believing that he died on the operating room table. He goes through a period of denial before finally accepting his death, and with the aid of a balloon, begins his ascent into heaven.
So long, Claude! Yeah. Happy landings!
Farewell, you poor earthly creatures.
But I can't help but wonder that after the closing credits, what eventually happened when that balloon finally did pop and Claude Cat came plummeting back to Earth? In our more modern world, there would have been a sequel cartoon where Claude Cat plots his revenge.
Revenge!
Revenge! Now we're cooking, huh?
I would have liked to have seen that particular cartoon. Now, of course, after my operation and my recovery, I went back to my classmates and told them the harrowing story of my hospital experience and how close I came to death. Their reaction would be like, yeah, whatever, bro. In the years that have followed, of course, my appreciation for Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies cartoons, the Warner Brothers Studios, for the kind of films they made has only increased. And I'll admit to becoming somewhat of an animation nut. The Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies theatrical cartoon shorts that were released during this time period are some of the best screen comedies ever made. And yet, there were these moments when they would take a left turn into an area of artistic brilliance that was unexpected, but very welcome. And this cartoon's dream sequence was one of those moments. Have you ever seen this cartoon? Let me know if you have and what you thought of it. Also, let me know if there were any cartoons out there that you saw as a kid that scared the crap out of you. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Now what's eating them? You'd think they never saw a rabbit before.